Hi everyone, my name is Danny from Danny's Book Corner, and today I'm going to share with you all the books that I read during BookTube-A-Thon and give like a little mini review of each of them. So without further ado, let's go! I have participated in the BookTube-A-Thon once before, but this is the first year that I participated in the Twitter sprint, and I did a little bit more on Bookstagram. I tried to at least, and I did one of the video challenges right here on YouTube, which is the previous video, which you can go click here or here. One of those areas. It will be linked up in the card. So this year I thought the BookTube-A-Thon was really fun for me because I did go out and participate in a bunch of these other things, and I loved on Instagram seeing all these other beautiful pictures of books and everything, and all these other really funny videos that people were putting out, and just participating with other people on the Twitter sprints and like talking to other people. It was really fun. The first book that I read for the BookTube-A-Thon was Milk and Honey by Rabi Kaur, I think is how you say her name, I'm not sure. This is a book of poetry, and it's really cool because there are 4 sections. I believe they are the hurting, the loving, the breaking, and the healing. It's a bunch of poems that I'm not sure if they relate to like real events that have gone on in the author's life or not, but it's very impactful and powerful poetry that I think like no matter where you are in life, you can find some sort of poem in here that relates to you. And there are many really good illustrations as well that go with some of the poems, and it's a really fast read. I read this in like probably less than 2 hours. Well, it took me that long to read it because I was getting distracted by other things going on. This is the first book that I read. I enjoyed it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. The second book that I read for the BookTube-A-Thon, which was The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. I don't know how I have not read this book, but I did for the BookTube-A-Thon. As you can tell, it's very short. It's like 200-ish pages, something like that. I think it was actually good that I haven't read it until now, because for me it's very relatable as someone who is in high school, going to be a senior in high school this year. Our main character, his name is Charlie, and he is currently a freshman in high school. He chronicles his journey through high school, meeting all his new people, all his new friends, and all that stuff, and just going through this transition period and being like a wallflower and just kind of observing things from the outside and understanding everything that's going on. And I thought there were some really good quotes about this book, and also like this book does make you think, especially maybe just me because I am in high school and I feel like a lot of the themes are very relatable to me, but there are a lot of themes in here that make you really think. And this is told in Charlie's first person point of view in a bunch of letters that's addressed to someone who we don't really know, but I'm sure there's like a bunch of theories on the internet about who that person is that he's writing to. I hope that I'll watch the movie soon because a lot of people have said that the movie adaptation is a very good adaptation for this book, because you know, some book to movie adaptations aren't all that great, but this one I've heard is pretty good. So I did really enjoy this book. It is very reminiscent of The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, which is also a very popular book for people to read in high school, especially as assigned reading. So I like this one more than Salinger's work because I think this does take place in the 90s, so it's a little bit more relevant, but not like there's not cell phones or anything yet. But overall, I did enjoy Charlie's point of view and his experience in high school, so I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And the final book that I read for the BookTube-A-Thon was Words on Bathroom Walls by Julia Walton. I actually just received this book in my July uppercase box. This is like one of the first times that I have read one of my uppercase boxes pretty soon after receiving it, because I was like, oh, it's a short book, but it fulfilled one of the challenges, which I will talk about after I finish talking about this book. This book is about a boy named Adam who struggles with schizophrenia, and he's going to transfer to a new school this year as a junior in high school, and it's actually a very small Catholic school which he hasn't been to before. He's been to a public school, but he was diagnosed with schizophrenia when he was about 11 or so, and after that he lost a bunch of his childhood friends because they thought he was just crazy and insane, and they didn't want to be around him because they thought he was just going to snap and do something rash or something. So of course, going into this new school, Adam is very lonely, but he quickly makes like 2 very good friends, and he is also taking this experimental drug to help combat his schizophrenia. So it's about him struggling and dealing with his mental illness, and he is such a funny character to read about. Oh my goodness, it's from his perspective, like in a bunch of notes to his doctor or his therapist who is monitoring him while he's on this experimental drug. His prose is so hilarious. Oh my goodness, especially because he is around my age. He's 16 in this novel, so his humor is so great. I love it. You want to think a a book about a boy with schizophrenia would be hilarious, but this book is so funny. Yet it still manages to talk about very important topics like mental illness and stuff like that. So I think this was such a good book to read for the BookTube-A-Thon. I haven't read any books about schizophrenia, so I thought this was a pretty good book. This book was about 300 pages-ish. It took me longer to read than either of the other two books that I previously mentioned. So overall, I also gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and I really highly recommend this book if you are interested in picking it up, because it is so interesting, and this is a fairly new release. So as a final tally for this year's BookTube-A-Thon, in total I read 705 pages, completed 3 books, and completed 4 out of the 7 challenges. The challenges that I completed were to read a book in 1 day, which I read Milk and Honey in 1 day, to read a hyped book, which The Perks of Being Wallflower is a very hyped book, and to read a book with a person on the cover, which there is a person's feet, and it counts, okay? It counts. And the final challenge I completed was to read a book about a character that is very different from you, and so that was Words on Bathroom Walls, which is about a boy who has schizophrenia, and I don't have schizophrenia. So that character is obviously very different from me. So that is all for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys also had a very fun time with the BookTube-A-Thon this year. It was really fun this year for me, and let me know down below if you participated, how many books you read, how many challenges you completed, all that stuff. Don't forget to follow my social media accounts if you want to do that. They'll be all linked down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have subscribed, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notifications when I post a new video. And I guess I will just see you guys all later. Bye!